Hi everyone, I am Jenna Bryant, the co-founder and CEO of Embedded Ventures, and we're so excited to begin day 4 of our collaboration with the Mentor Project as we build an 8-bit computer on breadboards alongside the 7th and 8th grade students from Robeson County schools. We have a very special guest joining us today, Jide Akinyode. He's one of Embedded's advisors, and he's currently the VP of Engineering at Houston Mechatronics in Houston, Texas, and he's working on transformative ocean robotics. And so, Jide, how's it going? Thank you so much for being here.
I'm glad to be here. It's great. This is exciting.
Isn't it fun? Why don't you tell everyone quickly a little bit, about how you ended up at HMI and kind of your journey to that point.
Yeah, sure. So I'm originally from Ohio. I've lived all over Ohio, but I did my bachelor's in electrical engineering at University of Cincinnati. I did my master's then at USC. So Jordan and I have that in common. Yeah. And through that experience, I lucked my way into a job at Lockheed Martin, and they told me I was going to be at the Space Center, and I showed up, and I was like, wow, this is really the Space Center. This is where the astronauts are at. So really thrilled about that. And then through that internship, I found my way into robotics, and I've been a roboticist for going on 15 years now. At NASA doing humanoid robotics, mobile planetary robots, and a lot of different prototypes for those type of missions. And then here at HMI, since that group has kind of exited NASA to do our own thing, I'm focused on building ocean robots. And you can see a picture of the robot behind me. His name is Aquanaut.
I love it, Aquanaut. Jide, I'm so excited you're here. And we have Jess and Jordan back. Jess, why don't you give the recap on what we built Tuesday, and then we'll start the next piece of the project.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute for a second.
That's okay.
So we're continuing with our clock part of the computer. So we have a couple 555 timers, and we're going to be adding another one even. So all these just make sure that like the clock is ticking at the right speed, and you can actually modify it and see the behavior and stuff like that. And then our little LED at the end also shows us like the tick of the clock timing as well. So yeah, very cool.
I love it. Okay, so Britt and Hannah are going to be popping instructions into the chat. And so just click that link if you're joining us here live, and you can pull up the instructions. And at the top of the instructions, it kind of says, where we're going to be starting. We're going to be starting at 2.1.11, and then we're expected to get to 3.1.11. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and make sure I'm at the right spot. 2.1. Jide, are you excited?
Oh, I'm pumped. I don't think I've done this since college. And, it's nice not to be doing it for homework. So
totally. Well, I've never done this, so please be patient with me as I make many mistakes. Okay, so 2.1.11, we're going to use a jumper to connect the bottom right side of the switch to ground. Ooh, hey, look at those instructions. I like it.
I think this is Jordan talking now. I think we actually finished 2.1.11. I think we're actually at 2.1.12.
Ah, okay.
That was I had missed that.
Okay.
So we're ready to jump into 2.1.12. With 2.1.12, we will be connecting. Let me see the instructions again here. Pin 6 to pin 7 on the most recent timer.
I'm just going to get a bunch of jumpers out because on Tuesday I had a hard time getting them out of this tray. So let me just throw them out here. There we go. There we go. And where are my tweezers? Y'all, I have so many tweezers and they have to be colorful, otherwise I just lose them. I think tweezers are kind of like socks. I'm like, where are my tweezers? They're wherever my socks are.
I gotta say that so far this breadboard is looking very clean.
It's pretty clean, isn't it?
It's clean so far. Where it's going to get a little messy. There's a lot to go, but Jenna's done a good job keeping it organized.
Oh, I made the mistake of watching the video on it, and Jess, I know, watched it as well. So in this kit, the jumpers, G-Day, come like this. Hold on, let me switch the view. They're pretty perfect. Like, they're already stripped and beautiful. But then you also get rolls of them. And there are tutorials on how to make them look perfect like this and fit the exact length that you need. And I'm like, oh no, when I have to use the roll of jumpers and do this myself, they're not going to be as pretty. Okay.
Yeah, for kit 2, we'll be making our own jumpers, and that's going to be the fun part, real fun part. But okay. Jenna, if you could grab a jumper, and it'll be a pretty small one here, connecting pin 6 to pin 7 on that 555 timer.
Oh my gosh. Oh, y'all, this is so cute. Look. It's so tiny. Cute. Okay, pin 6 to pin 7. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh. How's this? 6. Hold up. All right, while I'm doing this, G-Day. Oh, hey, Larry. G-Day, I would love to know what made you decide to pursue a career in STEM?
Wow. Well, both of my parents are engineers, so, I can start with that. But initially, I did not really want to be an engineer. I thought I was going to be a professional soccer player, and that didn't work out. Cool. I moved into dreaming about orthopedics and building devices that help people recover from injury.
Oh.
Okay, sorry.
I'm hearing some of the students there. Hello. No worries. Sorry, y'all. I'm having a hard time with this tiny little one. G-Day, keep going.
Oh, yeah, no, just to wrap up. So I wanted to get in orthopedics, and I applied for the engineering program there. And then, my dad's an electrical engineer, and I've been exposed to that from an early age. So I kind of gravitated back towards doing that. And I'm thankful because it enabled my entry into robotics.
I love that.
That's amazing.
Random fact, my dad was an orthopedic surgeon, and I clearly don't have all of his genes because my hands shake when I'm building this breadboard, and I don't think as an orthopedic surgeon you could have that quality, but he focused on sports medicine and spine. So growing up, that's what I was always around, and some of our closest friends are in that field. Cool, huh?
And that jumper is looking good as well.
How'd I do?
Amazing. It's a really tight fit for those. So.
Pretty good.
Right on. Okay.
Awesome. So we're going to hop to 2.1.13. So you'll want to grab a 0.1 microfarad capacitor.
Okay.
And we'll check in the handy dandy notebook to confirm which model number that is, or which part number.
Sorry, I have multiple monitors. I'm monitoring Streamlabs. I'm monitoring all these different docs at the same time. So thanks for being patient. Okay, here we go. I believe that would be.
Let's see, so 0.1. That's the lower of the two. That's the one model 104. There.
Okay.
You grab through the component boxes, and I just noticed in chat a blast from the past with Sue Wern.
Sue Wern! Sue is the best. And Sue, you're in Texas. G-Day is over in Texas. Larry, who's watching, is in Texas. Y'all, Texas is representing. I love it. Sue, are you in Houston? Yeah, Sue, I believe Sue's in Houston.
Awesome. I'm also in Houston.
I know.
Great.
Isn't it a small world? And Sue is in venture capital as well. Y'all need to meet each other. Beyonce is also from Texas. That's right. My girl. Okay.
Yeah, I've heard rumors there may be an embedded road trip to Texas sometime in May, so we could do a fan meetup for the stream
That's right.
while they're in Houston as well.
I love it. Okay, y'all, I believe I found the right one.
Okay.
And then while I'm connecting this, y'all, since we are building this alongside 7th and 8th graders, I thought it'd be cool if the three of you share a story about a favorite teacher or a school memory from when you were their age, if you can think of one on the fly.
That looks like 104.
Yeah.
A school memory from when I was at that age?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Or what were you like at that age?
What was I like? I was telling Jenna this a couple months ago. I was taking a look at my old yearbooks. I think I referenced on the last stream my 5th grade yearbook. I referenced that I wanted to be an accountant. In my 6th grade yearbook, I had started to grow a mustache.
That's hilarious.
So that was me. I was the first one in my grade to have facial hair.
That is hilarious.
I started early. That's most of what I remember.
All right, G-Day or Jess?
That's hard. I don't know. Someone else can go before me.
Sure. I won't. My memory is a teacher, math teacher named Mr. Barnhart. Mr. Barnhart was his name, and he was always very hard on me and a lot of the guys in the class because he thought we didn't take his math class very seriously. And I remember him telling us, "You guys are never going to become engineers if you don't pay attention to my class." And I was just, yeah, whatever. I'll figure it out. And so fast forward to after I graduated, I ran into him and he was like, "Oh, I knew you'd become an engineer. That's why it was so hard on you." I was like, "What?" Thanks for that. Thanks for that motivation. I appreciate it.
I love it. He saw the talent.
Yeah, I guess he saw something
grade.
there. Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't really applying myself, but it worked out.
I love that.
Well, let's hear from Jess after we get through the next step, because Jenna, you rocked through 2.1.13.
Okay.
There, that capacitor looks good, and now we're gonna build a little test setup. So on the last circuit, when we finished that one, we hooked it up to the LED in order to test it. And now we're going to test this circuit as well. So you're going to add a temporary jumper, so one of the normal jumpers that we'll add and then remove after the test, in order to connect pin 3 of the 555 timer to the long leg of that LED.
Do we remember which? I think the long leg was on, like if I'm looking at it, it's on the left side.
I believe so.
But I can't remember. We might have to revert back to the instructions.
It should be whichever of the two is not connected to the resistor. So I think.
Oh, okay. So the one on the right then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be in a kind of a column of its own there.
Okay.
And you'll do that same cross-country route. You may need 2 jumpers in order to go from pin 3 to this LED.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And we'll just bridge them in the middle by stopping in a different column.
And are we going to ultimately remove these or no?
We will. This will be temporary, just to confirm that this, and this is one of the classic things you do in engineering, where you build a little component up or a subassembly, and then you test it before continuing. So the further the circuit goes, the harder it'll be to test individual pieces to make sure that we built them correctly. So we're going to do a little kind of unit test here, where we just check out this circuit decoupled from everything else on the board before we connect everything together.
Y'all, when these are pre-done like this, they don't even... 1, 2, 3. I mean, I like it, but it's like... There we go. Okay. And I can kind of just go anywhere here, right? And then just make sure they're the same one.
Exactly. And you can just use that as an intermediary stop to extend your jumper.
Here we go. And it will be in the same column here, so column 1?
Yeah, which is that the long end of the LED.
Okay. How's that? Do these actually need to be? They don't have to be in the exact same, do they? As long as they're in the same column?
Yeah, same column. Yeah, you're doing perfect so far.
Okay. So the students, if you are doing this with me, you're probably experiencing the same thing, where when there already bent like that. You kind of have to. There we go. How's that?
That looks good.
I'll hold
Looks
it up
good.
to this.
So now the output of the second clock that you made with the button and everything there is hooked up to your LED. That finishes step 2.2.1. This next step is to power everything up again.
I'm nervous.
You're going to plug into the grasshopper, and we're going to test to see that everything works correctly.
Okay.
So Jenna, that power cord is on the top of the table there.
Whoa, y'all, look at this outfit today. I
Last
really went for it today. Look at this. It's like, let me
Nice
entertain
outfit.
myself. I'm going to the disco. Dun, 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 dun.
Awesome. So the LED disco.
Okay. All right, wait, y'all. G-Day. Jess, Jordan, we need a drum roll. Wait, is it time?
It is time.
Oh my gosh,
Step
I'm
2.3.1, plug the power cord in.
Okay, drum roll.
And then don't touch anything on the board just because it's a delicate setup.
Ready, and 3, 2, 1.
And it's pretty anticlimactic because
Oh no!
What?
Nothing happened.
That nothing should happen.
Oh, that's good.
That
Oh.
actually is correct.
Oh, that's good. I was waiting for something to happen.
No, well, so this is the manual circuit here.
Okay.
So what you'll have to do is actually the button that you added in.
Oh, that's
that
right.
little button.
This
Try
little
clicking
guy?
the button, and the lights should light up. Oh, boom.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
there we go.
right.
Boom. That's exactly what you wanted. So this clock is done
Yay.
for manual control of the clock. And so every time, or of the computer, I'm sorry. So every time you click that button, the computer will cycle and do another calculation.
Awesome.
So
y'all.
this will be very useful for debugging, where we can switch from the automatic mode that we set up last week to the manual mode, and then we can test and see. And this is, again, with an engineering approach. You want to be able to test things, so we know the manual setup works. That allows us to test everything else on the computer as we build it up.
I totally forgotten. I let myself down for a minute. I was like, oh no, it didn't work. I totally forgetting
work.
that this whole setup was.
You did it perfectly. So with that, let's go ahead and unplug it so we can
Okay.
unplug the power cord from your little grasshopper adapter there.
Okay. And
Like
can
that.
we remove these jumpers or?
Let's see, step 2.5, before building the rest of the board, unplug the power, and then, 2.6.1, we moved pretty quick through those, was to remove that output line, so the line between pin 3 of the 555 timer and the LED.
Boom.
So you can remove that and the other one there. So there you go.
Hey,
We
G-Day,
now
how am I
have-
doing as the non-engineer of the group?
I don't see any smoke yet, so
That's true.
it sounds great.
I'm
Looks
fishing
cool.
for compliments right now, y'all.
As long
am
as
I
there's
doing
no
it?
magic smoke. You did it perfectly. Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
that anticlimactic plugin was exactly what you wanted because you weren't if something turned on when you plugged that in, that would have been a different question.
Totally.
So you did it exactly right.
When
And
we
now
were
we're gonna
building,
Go ahead, Jen.
I don't think I have it nearby. I was going to show y'all when we were building a robotic arm with Darren at USC. We practiced it beforehand, and we may or may not have smelled smoke coming from an LED. I was like, ah.
that was on me when I was practicing with stuff too. I let the magic smoke out a couple times, and that taught us the lessons, just as with anything you're learning, what not to do. Or what to do in the instructions to add in, like making sure we remember those resistors next to the LEDs, else the LEDs tend to blow out.
And Jess, have you completed this project?
I haven't, but I was waiting to do the next part because we're doing the instructions side by side. But yeah, no, I really want to complete it. But then I also don't want to forget things, as we're going through it. So I'm trying to go slow.
Oh, totally. Because I may or may not have scrolled through your Twitter feed from the last 2 months yesterday, and I saw a picture from when your kit came in. Y'all, Jess's Twitter. Y'all, thank you, Britt, for posting it. You'll see it on Twitter what I'm talking about. I saw breadboards and everything, and I was like, ooh, that looks like it's close to finished.
And
There's a lot of parts, but it's fun. It's going to get really cool as we get into these other things. I mean, this is cool too, but.
I love it.
Yeah, and I just noticed in the chat with the teachers and students of Robeson County that Phyllis King mentioned that she wants to build a robotic arm with her students. So
Oh,
that's going
let's
to
do
be
it.
later session, and I think we actually have some recordings of that available too.
Miss
from when
Phyllis,
we did it
I will
last
send
time.
it to you, and it's cool because the actual arm was made out of cardboard. It was really fun. So we'll find that recording and send it to you. But we could also do it together live. We did it in about an hour, I believe. So I love that. Sweet.
Yeah,
All
the
right,
robot was a really, really fun project. And now we're
was.
going to hop back into here. We're at step 3.1.1, which is the third clock. And this will actually help us synergize and change between the two other clocks.
Okay.
So there's some interesting setups on this one. But you're going to need a third 555 timer now.
Okay. And y'all, while I'm looking for this, I would love all three of you to tell me what's an inspirational quote that you live by.
Well, I think Jide and I gave some fairly comprehensive questions or answers on the last question. So I'm going to volunteer Jess to go first. 'Cause
Hey.
she kind of passed on that last question. So Jess, you're on the spot.
No pressure, Jess. Jordan, you did that the other day. I was like, Jordan, I ask you a question. You go, I'm gonna let Jess answer that one. Okay, let's see.
Sorry, what was the question?
What's an inspirational quote that you live by?
Oh, one that I really like is I don't know the exact actually wording of it, but it's the Walt Disney quote about making the impossible possible and how that's the most fun.
I love it. I love it. All right, Jordan, you're up.
Oh, I'm not sure if I'm ready yet. I may need a second. I'm still simmering on which one's my favorite. There's
Okay.
a lot to choose
I know
from.
it's a tough question. Jide?
I got two.
Yes, I love it.
First one is trust the process. And I just like that because it's,
Yep.
people get wrapped up in milestones and the fun is in the work that's done along the way.
Totally.
And lastly is, I think this is Ben Franklin, but he says, don't put off for tomorrow what you can do today.
Love it. I love that.
Those are really good.
That reminds me, it's so true because I remember there was this meme that went viral several years ago, and it said, "Procrastinators unite later." Like, procrastinators, we're all going to get together, but we're actually going to do it later. And I was like, procrastination is kind of like something that at various phases of life, you can easily fall into, and you can have these huge ideas and just, say, oh, I'm going to do that tomorrow. But you got to do it today. Use your jumper connect. Okay, so I have my 555 timer here. And now I'm going to use a jumper to connect pin 8 to power.
Yes.
So-
This is very similar to what you did on the last 555 timer, where pin 8 will go to power and pin 1 to ground, and then the rest of the instructions will start being a little different.
I'm going to get a tiny one.
Yeah, it looks like you used a green one on the
I sure
last
did.
one there.
And I will, there are a million quotes that I live by, but I've been telling recently, and I might have mentioned this on another stream, I had a math teacher who used to always say before every test, and it pops into my mind all the time before I'm about to do something that's, where there's stress involved and high stakes. And he would say, I would say good luck, but luck has nothing to do with it. It's all about preparation. Preparation is the key to success, and lack of preparation is preparation for failure. And it's so true. Now there is a little luck that I think that has to do with certain outcomes, but in a lot of ways, like if you put in the work, if you prepare yourself for success, put in the time, usually you'll achieve success. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, things are just slipping out of my fingers today. Oh gosh, hold on. I'm having to squeeze these tweezers so tight I need to switch back and find my other pair. Oh no, this 555 timer might be a little damaged, y'all.
How so?
I'll show you in a second. Oh, goodness. Are y'all experiencing this where you go to pop this in and then it just bends like that? That's what keeps happening.
You may have to straighten them out.
I know. Well, I had straightened it out and then... Hang tight, y'all. G-Day, Jess and Jordan have answered this. Jess, her answer to this was an anesthesiologist, and Jordan's was an accountant. I would love to know, when you were a kid, what did you dream of being when you would grow up?
Like I said earlier, orthopedic surgeon was what I wanted.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
But, I had dreams of, playing ball like every other young kid.
That's right. Oh my gosh, you have already told us that. That's so cool. I love that. Playing soccer?
Yes.
That's so cool. Who's your team?
Oof. I'm embarrassed to talk about it, but Arsenal.
All right. And y'all, look what's going on with this.
Oh,
yeah.
No worries on that.
I might
if you
redo.
just pull the chip off and straighten the pin out, it will enter the breadboard correctly.
Oh, I feel bad. I get all of these parts to me become actual like beings with personalities, and I'm like, oh, this poor little guy, because it looks like a spider. I'm like, this poor little spider guy.
It's funny you say that. When you make a mistake in electronics, there's a thing called dead bug, where you turn the chip over and you fold the legs in like you just had.
Really?
And you solder wires to them like a little dead bug laying on its back.
No. Look. Like.
Well, this is a live bug.
It's a live bug. I healed him. I healed his little leg. Aw. I'm sorry, little 555 timer. Does anyone else bring their parts to life? It's like Toy Story. When I'm not looking, they're definitely like hanging out, partying on this breadboard, right? No?
Like a bug's life, but it's actually integrated circuits.
Totally. And sorry, y'all, I'm just going to have to bring this up close so that I can get this in the right area. There we go. Okay. Go ahead and tell me what we're going to be doing next while I'm popping this in.
Next, now that you've completed 3.1.2, which was connecting pin 8 to power, we're going to connect pin 1 to ground, which is we'll be just using a small jumper again.
Okay. Let me just see. What step are we on? Sorry.
We are on 3.1.3. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. And randomly, I just started thinking about, I think I was thinking about this from peeping Jess's Twitter earlier. Jess is involved in a lot of open source projects. I'd love, Jess, if you could explain, for anyone who's watching who doesn't know what open source means and who would want to get involved in the open source community, if you can give them a quick rundown on what it's all about.
Yeah, most open source projects have either a mailing list or they congregate on GitHub for actual code and contributions. And basically open source just means all the code is open source, so you can change it, you can modify it, and it doesn't just it's not just software projects. There's also hardware projects that are open source where all the schematics are open and stuff like that. And so it's basically a community of random people all around the world working on projects together.
Yeah. Cool. What are some examples of some popular open source projects?
So in software, a software kernel, Linux is really popular. Mm-hmm. It's mostly used on servers. You can also run it on the desktop, but it's kind of like a meme in that regard. And then some other big ones would be just kind of anything and everything. There's JavaScript libraries for deploying web applications. Mm-hmm. And so frameworks like Next.js or React, a lot of those are open source.
Yep.
VS Code, the editor, is open source.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
From Microsoft. Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
That's awesome. And it looks like, Jenna, you just wrapped up 3.1.3. Pin 1 is hooked up to ground. We're going to go to 3.1.4. So you're going to need a 1,000 ohm resistor.
Let's see, where are we?
Look in your handy dandy notebook again, and that is looking like brown, black, red.
Yes.
And that's going to connect pin 4, which happened to be that that leg that you fixed.
Oh.
So I'm glad that it's happy again.
Find the right one. Awesome. And while I'm looking for the right one, Jordan, do you mind telling everyone a little bit more about this project and why we're doing this and who we're in collaboration with?
Yeah, so this project is done in collaboration with the Mentor Project, which is a group, it's a 501c3 nonprofit that has mentors all across the world working with students on a variety of projects. We are doing this project in collaboration with them, specifically with a set of students in Robeson County in North Carolina. Robeson County, still learning. Robeson County, North Carolina.
We talked about it the other day on the stream. We were like, I said it wrong the whole first stream.
And with the students, we sent over each of them a kit of these same components we're working with so that they could follow along. We have these streams available online as well for them to see, or for anyone else to follow along that has a kit. The kits, we've been, I think, sending out the links in chat. If not, they'll be sent out shortly. But those kits can be purchased with the same set of instructions that we look at if you guys want to follow along. Those instructions we've been sending out as well for anyone who wants to follow.
Awesome, thank you. So I believe we've connected pin
Pin 4 to...
Pin 4 to ground.
I think that's power.
Oh, you're right, y'all. Why was I thinking power? I do this all the time.
Well, so on the other 555 timers, we hooked up pin 4 to power.
There we go.
And now it's going with the resistor to ground. So I think it's just your muscle memory going off, Jenna, of having done those two other circuits.
I know. Totally. Okay, what's next?
That looks good, and good catch
and
there.
And again, y'all, if you are needing to know which resistor to use, there is, if you scroll to the very bottom of the instructions, there's a resistor color code chart. If you're using the bin eater kit, you have this cheat sheet. So.
Yeah, and it is also on the supply page that Britt had just sent out in chat for those following along.
Okay, same kind of resistor. And y'all, Jordan, I don't know if I actually have another one of the right one here, but let me see. Yes, I have one more. Okay.
Perfect.
So I'm going to connect
We'll be connecting pin 2 to power, yes.
Right on, let's do it. Okay. All right, G-Dave, what advice do you have for the next generation of engineers, builders, dreamers?
Oof. Wow. I just start something. Pick something up, start, fail. People talk about failing and failing fast. Failure is not bad. You're just learning. And
totally.
I think we need to do more in that, so I would do that. But also, the corollary to that is learn from your mistakes. You keep repeating them over and over again, you're doing something wrong. So,
totally.
And speaking of learning, not to interrupt, learning from your mistakes, I made a mistake here. I think Jenna, you were correct on where that original resistor was, the last one.
Was it supposed to go to power?
It's supposed to go to power.
Oh, okay.
And the instructions said that too. I must have misread them when I.
Oh, that's okay. So this one, 4 goes to power?
Yeah, you were, as always, actually right.
No.
When you did it, and I
am most of the time right, just so that everybody knows. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, sorry. So connect 4 to power, and then 2 goes to power as well.
Yeah, you did right on both of those.
Awesome.
I mistakenly.
Hey, Jordan, get it together.
I am sorry. I misread my own instructions.
And just for the sake of this being a little more organized, I'm going to move this one over one just so that it is in the same. Ugh. Hey, G-Day, I'd love to know what's happening in the startup scene in Texas.
Well, I mean, everyone knows Austin is blowing up. The what are they calling it now? Silicon.
Oh, there's a name?
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's a name.
I know we have Silicon Beach. LA is Silicon Beach. Of course, San Francisco, Silicon Valley. There's Silicon Desert. I don't know. Britt. I don't know. Is it Silicon Ranch?
I can't remember now. I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, Austin's blowing up. Followed by, I'd say Houston is.
Oh, Larry says Silicon Hills. Is that it?
I can't remember.
Silicon Hills.
It might not be a thing yet, but no, I think it's growing. It's growing. People are recognizing talent in Texas, and Texas is a huge state, a lot of money here. So I mean, I think it's prime for some tech dev.
I love Texas. And I met G-Day when I was encouraging a portfolio company to be headquartered in Texas. As I reached out to, the top robotics engineers in the state, and G-Day, of course, was one of them, and wanted to get to know them, pick their brain on, what's the startup scene like in Texas, what does the talent pool look like, all of that kind of stuff, and really it solidified the decision for them to be headquartered there. So I love it. I'm going to rename Calabasas, where I live, Silicon Calabama. You heard it here first. How's that? Cool? Is that cool? Are y'all gonna run with that? Are y'all gonna use that? Silicon Calabama?
I'm not sure if the world's ready for that yet, but they
I don't
are
know.
ready for step 3.1.6.
Okay.
And with that, we will need a 0.01 microfarad capacitor.
Awesome. And y'all, Sue Wern has let us know that Houston Tech Rodeo is coming up. It's one of the biggest events for tech there. Y'all, we have to go to the rodeo. So I'm from Alabama originally.
I missed the rodeo.
Oh, is it gonna actually happen?
I don't know. They're waffling. I don't think it's gonna happen.
Interesting. And y'all, the students that we're engineering this with are in Robeson County, North Carolina, which is actually not far at all from where my mom grew up in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And there's a lot happening there. We had a great call with James Freeman. Shout out to James. He's been amazing and, made sure that the kits were signed for at the school. And one day when he's on here, we'll make sure to talk about what he's working on at ETI in North Carolina. But he's been a huge help for us. And he let us know that we have an office in North Carolina at their office. Better believe I'm sending a sign. I love it. He's so sweet. Okay. Sorry, Jordan. The world was ready for this step, and
They were. The
got
world.
sidetracked.
Yeah, so
The whole world.
The whole world. So 3.1.6, we're going to need a 0.01 microfarad capacitor. We'll check the handy dandy notebook again.
It's the 103.
It's the 103.
Oh. Right. There we go. There we go. 103. When I see these numbers like 103, 104, I think of radio stations. I'm like 102.7 Kiss FM. What's the like America's top hit station in Houston? Anonymous cheer. Hello. Connect pin 5 to ground. We need a jingle for our Twitch. You know how like radio stations have their jingles? What's our jingle? Anybody? Any jingle writers in the audience? No?
I'm not known for jingle writing. I'm going to pass on that one.
Jordan, I heard that you have a hidden talent of jingle writing.
I don't like sharing that in public. Thank you.
I think y'all, I might need my glasses. G-Day, have you seen these very attractive and stylish glasses that I have here? The students, y'all are probably going to make fun of me. This is probably so not cool, but look at this.
Those are sweet.
Aren't they cool?
Those are nice.
And so when I'm needing to really see things, because I'm like, oh, am I in the right column? I don't
You're
know.
gonna have to tell me where you get those. I might need to get a pair.
Oh, well, we knew that everyone was going to want a pair, so we just happened to have the link on standby. Britt or Hannah, can you pop the link in the chat? G-Day, we got them at Target, my favorite place. Y'all, I love Target so much. 5 to ground. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. I think I was in the wrong column. Anybody else does anybody else love Target as much as I do? I just like walking around at Target. But one time when I was doing my Target walking, I came across these bad boys. Free J, need 2 pair, totally. I actually did order a backup. I ordered a backup. Isn't this hilarious? Oh, Bed Bath & Beyond has them. Y'all, I think these were as seen on Shark Tank. So Bed Bath & Beyond would carry them as well. But they were, I believe, on Shark Tank. Is that what the link says? I think it does. I'm clicking it. Yes! Oh, wait, no. It doesn't say that, does it? Oh! Y'all, these were definitely on Shark Tank. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't say it. Oh, as seen on TV. Oh, y'all, they're on sale. $15.99. You're going to sell out. You better get it while it's in stock. Okay.
Awesome. We have just a couple minutes left, so let's get through one more step here.
Okay.
It will be 3.1.7, and we'll be at a good stopping point, so you'll want to use a jumper to connect pin 6 to ground.
Okay. Okay, let's do it. So G-Day, what does the rest of your day look like?
Oh, today's a big day. So we're actually testing out in Galveston Bay.
That's huge.
So I will be going to get on a boat and go enjoy the rest of the team.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming here on such a huge day. Oh my goodness.
I would miss it. I do like being on boats, but I can do that every day of the week if I want.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I can't wait until we go there. G-Day, am I making this up, or are you scuba certified?
I am. I just finished in December.
I love that. Congratulations. Yeah. That's huge.
Thank you.
Y'all, I always accidentally on my mechanical keyboard, when my elbow hits it, I start pulling up a bunch of windows. So I don't know what I just hit. There we go. Okay. Y'all, that one looks really... I think that might be my favorite one of the day. Look at that.
Awesome. That looks really good to me too.
That's a clean jumper right there. Scuba Steve! Scuba G-Day. I know, it's so cool. I love that.
Awesome. Well, with that, we're going to pause steps for the day. We are at a good stopping point. The next day, we're going to start with putting in a little toggle switch, so you can actually use that switch to switch between the other 2 clocks. We've added in, there's going to be a bunch of wires coming out of that switch, so it's a good point to pause so we can start the next day with installing that switch and then testing to see if that switch works for switching between the other 2 clocks.
Awesome. And Free J, is that James? Oh, James Freeman. We were just talking about you. How did you know? We were just talking about ETI, and I was like, when he's on here, we're going to go down that rabbit hole. It's a fun rabbit hole to go down, y'all. It's so cool. We'll post a video next time so that y'all can see what they're working on. We're going to need you to pop in here with us, James Freeman. Okay, y'all. Thank you so much for joining. And G-Day, thank you so much for joining on such a huge day. Good luck with everything. Can't wait to hear about it. Thank you for all of your support and help and everything with Embedded Ventures. Y'all are our, total heroes, and we're so lucky to have people like you and Jess on our team. So, y'all, we'll be back next Tuesday. We're here every Tuesday and Thursday building this 8-bit computer from scratch on breadboards in collaboration with the Mentor Project and Robeson County Schools. And so we will see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.